I'm glad y'all are back. When you come in, make sure that you share, you invite, and this show, I'm here by myself tonight, right? I know it's a change. This is how I started out. So we're going to get a deep dive into some subject matter that you may be familiar with, but I'm going to give it a little twist tonight. So we're going to have a little fun with it, but we're going to learn a lot tonight. So be prepared to learn and possibly heal from some of the stuff you're going to hear tonight. It's something that kind of blew my mind. So when you finish sharing and inviting, we're going to get it in. So right now, what I want you to do is give me about 30 seconds. I want to make sure everything is going everywhere that it needs to go. I'm going to be right back on the other side, and we're going to get right into the meat of this. So stay tuned.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy, cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah. Derrick Jones, the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in. Relationship gumbo, ayy.
All right, we're back. Welcome, everybody. Make sure that you let me know you're here. Say hello. You know I love my audience. I want to make sure that you guys are involved and engaged as well. And like I said, tonight's going to be an interesting show. Once it's all over, make sure you stay in here at all. Don't come in for 2 minutes because it's going to be good. It's going to be a little powerful. And I've been thinking about this topic for a while. And we're talking about, are you prepared to lay in the dysfunctional bed that you made? Because a lot of us have made some beds and we had to lay in it, and it wasn't too nice, the outcome, right? We're gonna talk about that. So, if you are here for the first time, this is the Relationship Gumbo podcast. So I'm gonna put up a couple of graphics and let you know exactly what I have to offer, and then we're gonna get right into the podcast. So, this we're gonna do. First and foremost, you're here on Wednesday nights. Wednesday night, we have just a regular show. We have a podcast that is in video form. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m., you can go to relationshipgumbo.info and you can choose to get on through Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. So we're here every single Wednesday. So keep coming back because I see some of you guys popping in now. Just keep on coming back and you're going to get a lot of good food to eat and get full off of this food. So now we're also an audio podcast. So if you like listening to it in your car, on your headphones while you're chilling, we got that too. Go to the same website, relationshipgumbo.info, and you can connect. And we're literally everywhere. So get that in. I got about 400 more listens to get to 6,000. So that's another monumental goal of listens for the podcast. So make sure you tune in that way as well in your free time. And you got about, I want to say, 54 episodes now. So you can binge it. When you're chilling at home and you're like, I can't find anything on Netflix, get that in. Next thing, if you like what you hear, you can talk to me one-on-one. I'm also a life and relationship coach, and I have everything is virtual. And you can also go to relationshipgumbo.info, but I also have kind of segmented that out. And you can go to coach.relationshipgumbo.info, and you can go directly there. Either way, you can get it. Everything's linked. You guys know what I do for a living, so everything is linked up and tested, so you can go in there and get that in. And then, even more exciting, yes, there's more. We got merch. Go to the same website, relationshipgumbo.info. Everything is there. We have, every t-shirt that you see me wearing on the show, with the exception of tonight, because that's my little favorite, logo shirt. But everything else you can get from the website, and it's there 24/7. So make sure you get that in too. So without further ado, we are going to get into the meat and potatoes of this. If you're here for the first time, what we do is we record an audio podcast. So I'm going to pause for 3 seconds. We're going to start the podcast, and then at the end of the podcast, I'm going to pause for 3 more seconds. If we have time for additional questions, we'll do that on the other end of it. And during the podcast, feel free to comment and ask questions, and we can engage that way. Because like I said, tonight, if you don't see yourself or someone you know and what I'm about to do tonight, you're not human. So stand by, and we're going to get right into it. So here we go. Welcome to another edition of the Relationship Gumbo Podcast. My name is Derek Jones and I am your host. I am a certified life coach, an engineer, a strategist, and a mental health advocate. And we're going to cover some mental health stuff tonight too. It's going to get good, guys. So stay buckled in. So tonight we're talking about, are you prepared to lay in the dysfunctional bed that you made? And so that topic's kind of broad, but we're going to narrow it down a little bit. So here we go. So some of you guys are familiar with, science fiction, time travel, right? And a lot of these movies and shows that deal with time travel, some of it, they'll go back in time, find their self when they were younger, do something different so that they can alter the future. And there's different things reasons why people would go back. But the key that we're going to talk about tonight is when you are your current self, there's always things in your past that help the trajectory to get to where you are. And some of it's not pretty, especially in relationships. The person who you are now, the things that have hurt you, some of the dysfunctional things that you found out by being in different relationships, they stick with you and they form your decisions. And so tonight, this topic about laying in the bed that you made, it kind of jarred me a little bit when I thought about it, when I give you this example. So what I'm going to do is it's almost going to kind of sound like a story, but it's going to make sense when you look at the trajectory of all of these different people's lives, and then it's going to make sense at the end. So that's why I said you got to hold on to your seats, because it's going to make sense when I'm done. So the first character we're going to talk about, we're going to call him Billy, right? Billy is a womanizer. And Billy likes to play. Billy likes to be in a lot of different little situationships and dip in and dip out. He's a ghoster. He don't care about your feelings. He gonna make you fall in love and dip out. Cause he's fascinated with that beginning stage. He want to get the feels, get whatever he can get out of you, and then hurt you. And he hops around from woman to woman. And he keeps hurting them along his path, right? That's character number one. We don't like this guy, right? Because his whole goal is self-serving, right? A lot of narcissists fall into this category. A lot of your players, predators, they fall into this category because they don't really give a damn about your feelings. It's about them. Doesn't really matter. Now, here's the key. And we talked about this in a bunch of other shows. Most men, and I'm using men loosely because it could be a woman, but follow my logic. Most men who are players, if you try and travel back, there's some hurt there. So what I always say in my show is playing people a lot of the times, and like I said, there's some assholes out here that just do it because they're an asshole. We're not talking about them. Most regular human beings, it comes from a place for you to not care about someone's feelings, right? It could be from your childhood. It could be from, a woman that hurt him or several women that hurt him. And then he transforms into something else that doesn't look nice by the time you meet him, right? So that's his profile. He don't really give a damn about you. But he has a past that made him become this person that kind of lived this emotionless life, right? There's no happiness at the end of this, but he gets this little high every time he jumps. Now, on that path, you got a whole bunch of women that's hurt, right? By the time he removes himself, there's a little bit of pain. There's a little bit of trauma. And that woman might have already had some stuff going on, and this just don't help. So we going to call this woman Susie. Susie, she's a walking, breathing person that just lives with the trauma that she's had from multiple men who have treated her like crap. And she keeps on this same trajectory, right? And if you go back in time and you time travel back, you may see a lot of these men that Billy portrays himself to be in her path. And she also may have some additional stuff. She may have some daddy issues. She may have some other stuff. But meeting Billy don't help. That doesn't help, right? Then Susie ends up meeting somebody and she has a kid. And Susie now gifts that trauma to that kid. And so now I'm going to paint this picture for you. And when I'm done, I'd never looked at it from this angle before, but when I did, I was like, wait. So follow me here. If you have a Billy who has a past that made him become this player type, and Billy hurts all these women, and those women who are hurt, because they haven't resolved it, the nice guy, quote unquote, that comes along, that's probably right for her, he now has to help her heal from what she got encountered with the Billy type. But she may not be ready for that, so she may hurt him. And what she's done is she's created another Billy without even knowing it. I need y'all to catch that. She now has created a whole Billy who didn't even start out that way because she hurt him. You're going to start to see a cycle here. Now, if she creates him and he becomes this bad guy, one day he might get tired of that. And this is the problem that a lot of men have, and women, but I'm talking from a male perspective. What we do when we finish, some of us, because a lot of people stay Billy until they're 105, right? When we get finished hurting all these women, we want to stop. And we want to settle down. But we want to find a woman that doesn't have any blemishes. Catch that, please. I'm gonna come back here. I need y'all to catch that. We want a woman that don't have baggage. We don't want that. We want the wifey. Wifey don't have no baggage. But wifey done met about 5 Billies. So she's coming in. She's not going to be perfect. But that's what we want. So it's dysfunctional from its inception, no matter what point you enter in. So now, Billy, he might have a kid. But Billy don't care because he's a player. But what Billy doesn't realize is none of this dysfunctional behavior, even if you're the woman who is damaged and she ends up hurting men, maybe she doesn't realize she's doing it, maybe she does. Once you enter that negative energy into your life, you never, almost never walk away clean unless you take time to heal. And even if you take time to heal, you may not walk away clean. That energy, right? And now we're going to go into a little bit of science, right? Energy doesn't just disappear, it transforms. So now you may not get that back. Your kid might get it for you. I need you to catch that. You don't walk away clean. Nobody does. It's going to come back to get you. It might come back in your kid. It may come back in a subsequent relationship where you decided to be good and the other person wasn't ready for you to be good. So they end up hurting you again. You don't walk away clean. The best you can do is to try to stop the cycle. So now this is the part that had me messed up. Think about this. As you think about your trajectory in your life, in your dating, in your relationships, your marriages, whatever, divorces, whatever. Think about it like this. If that's the cycle, when you meet someone, doesn't matter if you're dating or whatever, when you meet someone, at what point in that trajectory have you met them? Because think about it. Catch it. I need you to catch this because we're about to go in right now. You may meet Billy, but you have no clue that Billy got hurt by 20 women before he became Billy. So are you meeting Billy when he's an asshole? Or are you meeting Billy before he met those women? This is where the time travel comes in. Everybody has a story, right? So what version of the person are you meeting when you meet them? So when the man meets a woman and he like, man, she crazy. You may be meeting a victim of a Billy. And if that woman and or that man have a child and that child ends up inheriting that trauma, when someone meets that child one day and decides to date them, they have no clue that Billy and Susie created them. But the person that meets them may say, that person crazy. They treating me like crap. Every person that you know that has dealt with some kind of pain, you fit in that circle, in that cycle somewhere. Think about it. If you've ever been hurt, you've probably been hurt by a man that was created by a Susie. If you're a woman and if you meet a woman that has some issues and she got some baggage, she might have been created by someone else or several someone else's, and you're meeting her and you're taking who she is. And granted, people come, I always say, we all got stuff with us. But if you really think deep, you are going to meet someone somewhere in that cycle, and you're going to form your opinion based on who you meet. And now you have to make a decision on whether you're willing to deal with that or not. But you're going to meet somebody along that cycle somewhere. Unless life is perfect for you, you and the person you meet live on that cycle somewhere. And that just kind of like blew my mind, because because I think about my own story about how I ran into 3 Susies in a row and it made me into a Billy. But I wasn't Billy before that, because I never took the time to heal. So I was destined to become a Billy. And guess what Billy does? He hurts people. So now Billy has to live with that. And those women become Susie because of me. Catch that. You got to live with that. You got to live with that. But you can understand your path, and you can correct the behavior, and you can start the healing process, and you can start making better decisions. There's never a bad time to get to the point where you know that you need to start healing for yourself. But like I said, it weirded me out to know that most of us fit in that somewhere. Even if you got to the healing point, you might have been a Susie at some point. Or maybe you're not a Susie yet, and there's going to be somebody in your path that may change you into one if you don't heal yourself. And then even Billy has parents, and maybe his parents were dysfunctional. Maybe his Susie didn't even mess him up. Maybe his parents did. Remember, you don't get away from it clean. Maybe he was gifted that from his parents. Maybe he didn't even know that that's where it came from. But now he's out here creating the Susie character. And Susie crazy. Susie slashing tires. Susie like, I ain't gonna let nobody hurt me like Billy did. Now Susie is creating more Billies. My brain was like, it's crazy, right? Because you look at the person when you see them in their damaged state, and you say, they're a horrible person. How dare they do that? And I know a lot of people have asked this question. Why would he do that to me? Why would he choose me to do that to? Doesn't matter if it's you or not. He's Billy. It's Billy's job to hurt you. But Billy got a past too. And I don't want to normalize the Billy or the Susie. But everybody's stuff come from a place. It's an ugly thought. Right? And you have to know, now that you are, if you didn't know this before, now that you're a little bit more informed after tonight, you got to figure out where you are. Am I damaged? Am I even really ready to date and I'm out here dating? Could I potentially create a Billy because I'm not ready? Are you Billy? Are you the dude that's out here hurting people and you think you don't have any emotions? One day you may get tired of it and now you want to be a husband and you 39? And now you looking for a Susie with no damage? You can't do that. You cannot. No one gets away clean. When you find wifey, wifey might hurt your heart and rip it out your soul. They call that karma. I don't care who you pray to, who you believe in. That energy recycles itself. And it ain't always pretty. So I need for you guys to really, I'm going to do it with two hands. Please catch it all tonight. Who are you in that cycle? Are you the kid? Are you Billy? Are you Susie? And if you're none of them, and you just have a perfect life and you've never been hurt and you've never met anybody that hurt you, right? You're a unicorn. But if you are that person, please get to know who you are before you meet Billy, so that when you meet Billy, you can throw Billy in the trash. Catch it? That's why I do what I do. Because no matter where you are on the cycle, I want to jump in there and say, hey, here's a puzzle piece that you missed. Put that in there so you don't have that traffic accident when you meet Billy. When you meet Billy, you're going to be like, nah, Billy, bye-bye. Nothing's perfect. But a more informed, healed version of you, it's way easier to throw them out the way because you love yourself. That dysfunction. Back to the title. When you put that negative energy in, whether you Billy, Susie, whether you're a little kid that has traumatic parents, whatever it is, once you become the originator of the negativity, that's a bed you're going to have to lay in. It may not even be your kid. It may be your grandkid, but it's going to come back. I don't wish that on nobody's kids, but y'all know some of these kids out here. You be like, yeah, that's because of me. That I maybe I done earned this. Y'all really gotta, I'm telling you, I need y'all to replay this like 2 or 3 times. Who are you in that cycle? It's very few of us who have not ever felt any pain in a relationship or a marriage or whatever, or dating. And you got to see if you've recovered from that. Are you better? Are you still traumatized? You're a traumatized person. That's what I always say. Are you picking your date, or is your trauma picking your date? Is your trauma picking your date for you? Maybe that's why it's not working out. And guess what? I say this on almost every show. You probably don't have the answers on how to get yourself off that wheel. You might have to go seek therapy. You might have to go seek a coach to try to put that stuff. You got to put those puzzle pieces together. Like this tonight, you get a bird's eye view on how my mind works. Everything I always talk about. I talked about science fiction at the beginning. I got the glasses on, comic books. Every superhero, every villain has an origin story. We all have an origin story, good or bad. The question is, have you taken the time to figure out where you are? If you're Billy, because I used to be a Billy. I used to be Billy. If Billy wants happiness, Billy got to stop. And when you stop, you really have to understand that the people that you hurt, it comes back some type of way. But you got to take time to heal yourself so that you don't continue it. You can't continue the cycle if you want to have a peaceful life. If you want to have happiness in your life, that energy. You could be Susie. You could say, well, it wasn't me. Billy created me. No, but you're still Susie putting out negative energy. You're still a negative part of the cycle. Stop it. Once again, replay this. You fit most of us fit somewhere in there. And you can say, well, it's my daddy's fault. It's my mama's fault. If you become Susie, I don't care how it happens. You're still Susie. You're still Billy. And a Susie may not be, and a Billy may not be this egregious person that you could just see coming. They may be doing this subconsciously. You didn't hurt somebody's feelings. You didn't friend zone some dude and crushed his soul. And you knew he thought he was falling in love and you still kept egging him on. You just created a Billy. And you was like, well, maybe, I'll just take these few dinners. He don't know no better. I'm going to just go. I like having fun with him. I know he fall in love. but I'm going to go ahead and drop him next week. I'm done. You just created a Billy and you didn't even know it. Because now Billy's like, damn, I feel used. Let me go use somebody because I don't like how this feel. You then become the thing you hate because you don't know how to rationalize those emotions. Hurt people, right? They say that all the time. You don't know how to intelligently figure out why you felt that way. You just want to get it off. And when you get it off and you hurt somebody else, you become this sick person that gets off on knowing that it's not coming your way. You get it off, but you don't have to worry about it coming your way because you're always the one dishing it out. I need y'all to catch. I need you to catch it. Keep catching it. So now you can say, you could be the empathetic person and say, oh, Billy, I know somebody must have hurt you in the past. You're not licensed to be his therapist. Let that dude go. Let that woman go. You got bigger fish to fry. Let them figure that out. So I'm not saying this to empathize with the person that has the negative stuff. I'm doing this more so for us to be introspective and look at ourselves and say, are we someone on that wheel right now? Are we the negative, dysfunctional person that's putting that out in the universe? And we are now creating the very thing that we hate. We're creating the thing that hurt us. And sometimes we don't even realize it. And it hurts to even think about it. It hurt me to even this what I'm doing tonight. Like y'all can tell, this coming from a real place. I was like, yo, I done created Susie's. I used to be Billy. And then Susie got to be somebody's mom. Billy gonna end up being somebody's dad. And then you got to tell your kids, I don't want you to be like how I was. You got to stop the cycle. Or everybody on the planet gonna be Billy and Susie, and we really gonna be out here scrapping. We already scrapping already. Like, come on. We gotta get it together. So I need y'all to take that in. Take a deep breath. You gotta go look in the mirror tonight and say, have I ever been Susie or Billy? Or have I ever been that little kid that created Susie's and Billy's? And now you have the opportunity to heal. Are you that bitter person that's been hurt so many times and you don't even care if you meet anybody else? I'm bitter, but I'm lonely and I want to find somebody. You might not be ready to date. You got some unresolved stuff that you need to handle before you can date. But we don't do that. We go out there, we date, we not ready. Blows up in our face. So either we become Susie at that point and we stop giving a damn. You have people out here that's like, man, we can just, we can talk and have sex and do all this stuff and I won't even have no emotions because I don't care about nobody. You're Susie. When you start saying, I don't care, but you're doing the emotional attachment stuff, they both can't exist in the same space. You can't be emotional and caring and have somebody in your space and say, I don't give a damn about that because I just don't have no emotions. Stop lying to yourself. Please. Right? Think about it. I talk about this a lot. You out here saying you don't need nobody. I'm good. I'm happy being by myself. You put it on social media. Give a damn about y'all. I'm good over here. And then you go home and you say, I wish I had somebody. You're lying. Check yourself. Figure it out. May not ever happen. But when you put that information out in the universe, guess what? You're attracting Billies. Boy, let me say that one more time. When you out here shouting that from the rooftops, but on the inside, in your house, you crying in the corner because you don't have nobody, that's Billy attraction. That's like meat hanging. They can smell that 10,000 miles away. Because what Billy knows, I'm going to give you this little tangent real quick. What Billy knows is if he's a true Billy who's been doing it for a while, what Billy knows is you're human and you're a woman. And if you're human and you're a woman, 9 times out of 10, you have emotions. And if you have emotions, the entryway for me to get in, even if you shout from the rooftops, screw everybody, you're still an emotional human being. And he gonna see how he can fit in there. Because you're still the person that's at home that's saying, I wish I had somebody. He ain't stupid. It's a numbers game. You take 20 women that say, I don't give a damn, I'm good. At least 15 of them, they're gonna be susceptible to a Billy. Billy can smell you. He can smell what you're doing at home. Because it's going to come out some way. And something you say, he listening for the triggers. Right? This is what your triggers sound like. We on a little bit of tangent, but I feel like somebody need to hear this. You saying I don't need nobody. I'm good. I'm be single for the rest of my life. I'm good. But it would be nice if, I know he don't ever exist, but Prince Charming may come one day. I don't know. That means the door is open. Your words will always betray you. You're going to slip up. You could be hard all you want to. You could be as hard as hell. And there are some people out here that's living life with no emotions. Let me know how that's working out for you. Please. You may be safe from meeting a Billy. But if there's another person out there that's supposed to cross your path for whatever their purpose is, you just blocked it. So now that crying you're doing in the house about not having nobody, you're blocking it. Remember we talked about energy. It attracts. So be careful. Here's the moral to the story. No matter where you are in the cycle, be careful about the energy that you project out there because it's always going to come back. It's going to transform. It's going to be a kid that you have. It's going to be your niece or something. It's going to come back. And a lot of us learn it later on in life. And we got to lay in that bed, no matter what it looks like, whether somebody hurts us, whether it's one of our kids acting a damn fool. And you like, yo, I earned that. You gotta lay in that bed. If you think about the trajectory of what got you there and you make the next generation, you make your next move a smarter one. Stop making the same stupid decision over and over again. Right? I'm preaching to the choir. Everybody out here know what I'm talking about. Stop doing it. You now have the opportunity to sit back and get yourself together. Right? How many people on here have dated like 10 different narcissists in a row? Like you gotta figure out what's why are you attracting that? You got a part to play too. And I'm gonna leave you with this. When we talking about predators and whether you Susie, Billy, or Little John, whatever the hell, wherever you are on the thing, here's the thing. And I've said this. I've been doing this for a while. I've said this many times. A predator is only going to be attracted to a prey that's appetizing to it. Quotable of the day. Who are you appetizing to? And even if a predator's able to get through your defenses, you still have the right to pick and choose what you will and won't deal with. They find strength in the fact that your emotions play higher than your brain does. There's no player that's better than your logical self that knows what you're willing to deal with. They need for you to be emotional. That's little Derek tip of the day. Your emotions are running you because you want something so bad. Once you kick in that logic and say, wait, that's one of my deal breakers, and you leave, the game is over. So on that note, We gonna wrap this up. I know y'all used to me doing 2-hour shows. We ain't doing that tonight. So let me read some of these comments because I got to get off my soapbox. Christina says those triggers are very real. You got to face them. She says, Derek, I feel like you put me on the spot. Michelle Ford said, I had one cycle, never had one before or after him, but he was the one that I married. Go figure. That's what happens. That's what happens. We allow that person to be the one that gets in deep. I know I'm going back in time here. Spin City says, what if Billy doesn't want happiness? So if Billy don't want happiness, guess what? That's what you got to understand about Billy. As much as Billy does his thing and he don't care about eventually wanting happiness, inside, Billy miserable as hell. That's his karma. You hurt a bunch of people on the inside, even though it looks like he's having fun, he miserable as hell on the inside. Take it from an expert. It's not a happy place. So in order for me to feel fulfilled, and a lot of narcissists are in this category, I got to go out and get a little high, another high, another high. Because if I don't do that, who am I? I got to still face myself in the mirror, no matter how angry and upset and mad and predatory I am. I got to sit at home by myself and say, what the hell am I doing? I got to keep feeding it. But someone who eventually, might be 65 by the time it happened, but he may say, this is not leading me anywhere. He may not want to be a married man or whatever, but he may make a decision to say, you know what? This is work. It's work, guys. So guess what? Let me give you one more. Y'all got me on here preaching. Let me give you one more nugget. And it's not like I'm giving you guys new information. I'm just delivering it differently. If I'm miserable and I'm doing all of this stuff out here and I'm hurting people, I'm miserable on the inside. Because remember, Billy got a past too. Billy was created, right? In this scenario. So he got his own demons to handle. He's putting that stuff off on you. You're fulfilling his little dopamine high. So when you say Billy, what if Billy never wants happiness? Billy wants happiness. It just may not look like it, but on the inside, it's torture. And like we said on a couple other shows with my guests, when we hurt, and women do this too, when we hurt or we get out of a relationship and we want to do this thing, we don't concentrate on healing. We just put somebody else in place to feel it so we don't have to feel it ourselves. It's damaging and it's dangerous, but it's real. In that whole cycle, like, we all kind of sort of fit on there somewhere. Because if you're not Susie, you're a victim of Billy, who may turn into us. Like, y'all gotta rewind this tonight. You're on there somewhere. And if you don't turn into Susie because you've been hurt, you might be bitter. Right? You may take yourself off the market even though you want to be on. Like, there's always damage. You're in there somewhere. And then that damage will make you so leery and so detached that you can't even find anybody because you don't even know where you fit because you're so guarded. Billy did that. And Mr. Right may need you to be open. Just enough for him to get in there and say, it's me. It's okay. He ain't gonna never get in there. Billy done messed you up. And that's when you hear people say things like, these damaging things like, ain't no such thing as a good man. They ain't ready for me. Nobody can handle me because I'm just too good for them and ain't no man on the planet. Stop. You know how many men on the planet that you just put in the same box? Stop it. The men that you meet. That's who you gotta look at what your trajectory has been. Every man, stop. Just stop it. Dawn Green says, I've been bruised by Billy, but wasn't broken. I stepped away from him, and I'm learning me for me so I can have my happiness in the end. And that's all it is. You got to love yourself enough to make that decision to say, I'm going to work on me to make sure that nobody's perfect. You might meet another Billy, but you're a more informed person. You now can say, these are my deal breakers now. And if you hit one of them things, I love me enough to roll. I don't give a damn how good you look. I don't give a damn how many dinners you done pay for. Have a good day. You know how hard that is when you're an emotional person to say no to something that looks real appetizing to you? You be like, I don't want to leave, but I have to because he hit the deal breaker. You got to do it. You got it. If you over 35, 40, 50 years old, you got to roll. Time is a little different after a certain age. You got to roll. Because if you 50 and you spending 5 and 10 years with a dude that's crushing your soul every day, come on. You got kids. I don't care if they're grown or not. The best gift you can give to your family is a happy version of you. And if that means you got to roll, you got to roll. It's not easy to roll, but you got to love yourself enough to know that your deals have been broke. The deal breaker's been hit. You got 10 deal breakers. They hit all 10 of them. And you like, but I love him. So let me get these comments. Lawan says, remember the healing yourself aspect. If I don't love me, how can someone else truly love me? Bingo. If you don't love yourself and someone comes into your life and they trying to figure out how to love you, they don't even know how, because you don't even know how to tell, hey, I don't like this, because you're damaged. And when I say damage, that doesn't mean that you can erase the damage, but you can learn. Those of you who've been to therapy, you can learn how to manage it better. You can learn your triggers and how to manage them better so that you can make better decisions so you don't keep going down the same path. Right? Michelle says that dysfunctional mentality of the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else, and you haven't taken time to heal. That's one of the most dysfunctional things you can do. Because when you do that, right, and we talk about rebounds, you want somebody, it's a rebound, and then it blows up. Get some people that's been on the rebound and they end up being married for 50 years. We're not talking about you. But people that go on the rebound and it blows up, either a Susie or a Billy is getting created after that. Catch that. Especially if you put all your feelings and your emotions into it and then you get ghosted or something crazy happens. You now are changed. Unless you have the tools to write yourself back, you are now forever changed. And now the next dude that comes, it's going to be it's going to be, wait, he might be just like, You got to get yourself in control of you. That's how you combat the predators. The predators need you to be weak. So if you, here's this, okay. I know this going to trigger and it's going to catch this. Billy, even the best Billy, I'm talking about the smartest, most egregious, I want to hurt you type of Billy. He requires you to be weak. So if you've met 10 Billies in a row, they've seen a weakness in you that can be exploited and they keep coming your way. They require you to be weak. I don't give a damn how many PhDs you got and I got my own stuff. And there's some part of you that's making them say, yep. And then the next one, yep, I see it. And then guess what? They see it and you be like, okay, take me, I'm here. Yeah, you got me. You have now allowed yourself, catch my words, you have allowed yourself to become a Susie. But you'll blame it on all of them. And then you say, ain't no good men out here. The defense rests. So So, so we go. The comments are coming. Woo, Jesse. From Facebook, I didn't concentrate on healing from the end of a relationship nor the death of my baby girl for almost 2 years. I worked on me and traveled. I don't care how old you are, it's never too late to focus on healing. And like I said, our parents, our grandparents or whatever, they might not have, they may not have had the coping tools. You probably don't have most of us don't have these tools. And you might need to get help. The help might be your mama, might be a family member, might be a therapist. You got to figure out how to put those puzzle pieces together so that you don't repeat history. And even if you never have another long-term relationship for the rest of your life, you've taken the time to find your inner happiness by going on the path of healing anyway. So it never hurts to do it. More comments. Michelle Ford, people just lying to themselves and everyone else. Yeah. Most of us have lied to ourselves quite a few times about how we moving out here and yeah, I'm okay. And you're really not okay. You're really not. Like, I've told this story before. When I got divorced and it was an amicable thing. Wasn't no animosity at the end or nothing. It just was never going to work. We wasn't fighting and none of that. And I'm like, because it wasn't no fighting, I'm good. But I can't erase those years that I spent with that person and think I'm going to just walk away and be okay overnight. So I'm out doing self-destructive behavior and doing all this. And I'm out here billying, right? Because I'm like, I'm free now. Well, all the drinking and the billying says you haven't healed. And yes, I created a new word. It's going to be in Webster's dictionary. It's called billying. I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and give me credit for that. Yeah. Even in a situation where it may not feel or look like trauma, you still got to get back to knowing who you are. Because while you in that phase, like I talked about it, you might accidentally end up in a relationship because you done spent too much time somewhere. Self-destructive behavior. They're getting a traumatized version of you instead of the healed you. So something's going to crack somewhere. That's how this works. Dawn says, indeed, I do know all too well, but when the shit hits the fan, I don't want to get hit by it anymore. Yeah, that's the key. When we get damaged, we don't want to get hurt no more. So we have to. But what you have to realize is that you don't want to turn into a person who shuts everybody out. You have to be a person who that armor becomes your love in yourself. And when you love yourself so much, when it don't feel right, you're not going to stay and try to fix it because it's only 3 weeks in or 2 months in. I love me way more than this crap you doing right now. Remember on date number 3, and I talked about what I really wanted and what makes me pissed off? You didn't hit them things. And remember what I told you? I can't. Bye. It's not the easiest thing to do because you didn't let them in your life for some months or whatever. So, I'm going to hold you to your words. Remember I told you, never be afraid, especially if you start feeling somebody, to say, we need to have a discussion about how this going to work. Because I like you. Have you ever hit a woman before? You're setting him up for his truth so you can hold him accountable for it when he messes it up. When you argue with somebody, do you yell real loud or do you just kind of rationalize it out? Do you like to take time for yourself before you can come back and engage? What's your love language? But I don't want to ask him those questions because if I ask him, he might run away. Bye-bye. He can lie, but that's his word. 2 months later, he done hit 3 of them things. I got to go. Love you, but I can't. Because guess who I love more than you? And I got kids too. And I'm going to give them a messed up version of me because of your dumb ass? Nah. They deserve better than that too. Now, did I know this when I was 25? Absolutely not. This is like trial by fire. And that's why I say that's what I do, why I do what I do. I'm trying to save you from the next traffic accident. You could be a better driver. I had to go to driving school to get the lessons, but you can be a better driver. Stop relying on yourself to fix it sometimes. Sometimes you need a better toolbox. The tools are out there. Y'all are just on a roll. Let me try to get these things in before I get out of here. Because y'all know I was only supposed to be on here for 30 minutes because I'm on here by myself. But y'all are here. And I've been on my soapbox tonight. Because I don't script these things. I didn't have an outline of what I was going to talk about. This stuff just, I get inspired and I get epiphanies and it just rolls out. And I like doing that for you guys because I want you guys to get the most organic experiences possible from this show so that y'all can connect and see yourselves and see your family members so that you can say, I might need to change a little bit. That's why I do what I do. Let's see. Where did we stop off? Spin City says some people have rebound cycles. Yeah, it becomes an addiction. You can't be by yourself. Gotta hurry up, put somebody else there. Y'all know people like this. They can't be alone. That's the trouble zone. You setting yourself up for a cycle of terror. Jesse says, I've never let my ex mess up my next bad part. I find out later that they haven't healed. Yeah. I've met some people recently that, they got into some things and then they realized that person hadn't healed, but they also made the decision to detach themselves from it. That's the key. It's knowing when to detach. Jesse says, admittedly, I've been too quick to want to relax and then let the man lead when he hasn't earned it. Got to think about this, guys. We're talking about your time, your emotions, and your heart. These are some of the things that we use that inform our decisions. And we're going to let somebody else just have it all without any vetting process. When you give up all of that, who are you after you give it all up? Think about that. Jesse says, I see that often. I used to be lightweight jealous because folks would be out of one and into another. I can't do it. Got to clean first. Yep. Cleanse first. Yep. And Lawan says, and don't forget it once you remember again. Yeah. Spin City says, I've been an Armor Annie. Yeah, Armor Annie is cool. Protect yourself. Protect your heart. But you can't be Armor Annie and still want to be in something at the same time. You could be Cautious Annie, but Armor Annie ain't letting nobody in. And if that's you, cool. Nobody's judging you. But don't expect to be in a relationship if nobody can get in. If that's what you want. Now, like I said, there's some people out here, I never want to ever be in one, and my emotions are shut off for the rest of my life, so screw everybody. Cool. Do you. This is a relationship show. So, Jesse says, I refuse to knowingly sit in abuse again. Jesse says, let him run faster than Forrest. Ain't gonna have me looking old before my time. Bye, Felipe. Christina says, the third eye is throbbing for you, Derek. Yeah, this what I do on this show. I realize that there's something in me, like all of the things that I've learned over time, even what I do as an engineer, and the way that your mind has to work to calculate and like fit things and troubleshoot things, and then all of my relationship experience and all of the people that I've coached, it makes sense now. And that's why you guys see that most of the shows, I got a story that goes along with it. I just don't pull these things out the air. I've been through a lot. One of these days, I'll just do a separate show about my trajectory. And then you're going to be like, that's why. That's why he knows all this stuff. Because he didn't just go through it. He went through it with the mind of an engineer. So it's like case studies that's stuck in here. And when I see your story, then I'm able to say, yep. And that's the job of a coach. That's why I say we don't always have the tools, but there are people out here that do. And they can say, here's your toolbox. Now you can go out and you don't have to be Armor Annie because your armor is here and not here. Right? Michelle Ford says, we know that it's our fault that it goes long. LaJuan says, I still take time daily just for me, even if it's just sitting in my truck. Yo, this is something that I still have to learn because I be sitting in the everyday stuff. And you really gotta love you. You gotta take time for you. And when you learn how to do that and you learn how it feels to be happy within yourself, then when Billy come, you be like, you ain't gonna mess this up. Like, I'm good. Like, what are you doing? I'm protecting my peace. And you just did that thing that I don't like. I don't care what you look like, Billy. I don't give a damn what you do. I don't care how many dinners you take me out to. I don't even care if you tell me you gonna do whatever I want you to do. You just messed up my peace. And I've been working hard on that. Peace. Christina says experience is the best education. That ain't a word. We all done been through some things. But and I'm going to close with this. We all been through some things. And you have to, and this is a life lesson. We all know this. You have to take those experiences and you got to learn from them. And you have to make better decisions. You know who you are if you know you've been making the same decisions and you make statements like, I keep meeting the same type of men. I don't know. You're either going to say, I don't know what's wrong with me, or you're going to say, maybe every man is just jacked up. Once again, it's a lot of men on the planet for you to make that statement. That energy is going to come back to you. You keep saying that. The better question is, what am I doing to attract the same? I didn't say attract a Billy. Attract the same man over and over again. That's a you problem. It's hard to take in. That's a you problem. 10 of the same dude that hurt you over. After time number 2 or 3, you're not done. You got to keep going. That's a you problem. You can't stop an asshole from being an asshole, but you can stop dealing with him. Because after time number 3 and 4 and 5, you don't know what it looked like yet. The cycle of dysfunction. As we close, are you a Billy? Are you a Susie? Are you that little kid that was traumatized when they was a kid and now you hurting other people? Are you the victim of a Billy or a Susie? And you might be on the verge of turning into one of them. Who are you? Funny, but not funny, right? So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you again. I appreciate you for coming. Make sure you go to relationshipgumbo.info. Everything has been revamped. It's pretty sexy, y'all. I done worked hard on making the site look sexy. I'm going to need you to go check that out. Relationshipgumbo.info. Y'all know I'm always changing stuff because my brain just be all like this. But I think I'm going to stop now. I love the way that site look now. Everything is on there. It's easy. It's mobile friendly. You can just push a button for it's all right there. You don't have to look hard for anything. I worked hard at pretending to be you so that I can make sure that you don't have no problems. I listen to your cries. How do I get to the live? I don't know where to go. It's on there. How do I get to the coaching stuff? I found the live show. It's on there. All you got to do, it's real. It's like, I call it dummy proof. It's dummy proof now. You ain't going to have no problems finding anything. So make sure you go there, check out everything, get you some merch. Do that. And you're going to see, over the next few weeks, y'all got to keep coming back. The next couple weeks, y'all need to be here. I got some stuff coming that y'all are going to really get some knowledge and some fruit from. I got some amazing people on the roster coming down. You know, we bringing people like Tony Massey back, Maya Avery. You guys have seen these people. They coming back, and we coming back with a bang. Because if I find strong people, they going to keep coming back. Spin City going to come back one day. Like, we all, like, when I find people that I know have a strength and that you guys can grow from, they coming back. They coming back. So, on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please stay safe out there. And, come back.
Okay, everybody wants good love, that's true, I know. Derrick Jones about to break it down with the relationship gumbo. Welcome to the podcast. Ain't no doubt we all need this, ayy. Cause better relationships need better ingredients, ayy. So if you want better relations, it's about communication, finding love, staying together. We all wanna make it better, yeah. Derrick Jones the host, your relationship coach. Thank you all for tuning in.